Hi guys, and welcome back to our English class. This week we are on week 4, and we are going to be focusing on different types of inventions. Especially we're going to be looking at how can trying to solve problems lead to the discovery of new ideas and new inventions. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Inventing something new. Almost every new invention starts with a problem and a new idea. Inventions make our lives better. Some inventions help us learn. Other inventions entertain us. So let's start with our vocabulary for the week. Our first word we have is design. So if we're designing something, it means that we are going to do or we're going to plan something for a specific purpose. Okay, it's not random. We are actually making a plan for something. Jake and Andy are helping to design a picture for the school's new wall. Next, we have encouraged. Now, if we encourage, it means that we're going to give support, we're going to give somebody some confidence, or give them some hope. My teacher encouraged us to eat healthy snacks. Next, we have examine. Now, if we're examining something, it means that we're going to inspect it, but very thoroughly. We're going to look at all of the details, and we're going to make sure that we notice everything about it. The vet will examine my dog to make sure he is healthy. Investigation. Now, if we have an investigation, it is a process. It's an action of examining research to find a conclusion to a problem. Tom did a careful investigation of the spider web in his yard. Investigation and examine are similar but different in a few ways. Next, we have quality. Now, if something is quality, it means a standard, a measurement of something that has very high or good quality and something that has very low or poor quality. A good quality helmet helps keep me safe. Next, we have simple. If something is simple, it means that it's really easy to understand or it's really easy to do. Walking my dog is a simple and easy way to have fun. Next, we have solution. A solution is an answer to a difficult problem. Marco found a solution that helped him get better grades. Now we have substitutes. Now if we have a substitute, it means that we are going to take one thing and put another place in there, okay? We're going to substitute it. We're going to take one thing out and add another. Fruit and popcorn are healthy substitutes for candy. All right, now that leads us to our story for today. And our story is a biography. Now, a biography is a true story about someone's life, but it is written by another person. Now, a biography is going to be told in sequence, in time order, like we have been learning about. What happens first, what happens next, what happens last. Okay, so our story that we're going to be reading about today is Mary Anderson's Great Invention. Now, you may have absolutely no idea who Mary Anderson is, and that's okay. We're going to be reading about how this one person had a problem and then came up with a solution and invented something new. You might think that a ride in a bus or car is the same today as it was long ago. That isn't true. The first cars were not as fast. They were noisy. Cars didn't even have a windshield wiper. When it rained, drivers rubbed their windshields with an onion. The oil from the onion would repel or keep off rain and sleet. It wasn't the best solution, but there were no better substitutes. Nothing else worked. Then a woman named Mary Anderson solved the problem. So what did drivers need to do to their cars when it rained? Very good. So they would take an onion and rub it on the windshield so that it would repel the rain away from the windshield. It started with snow. Mary Anderson grew up in Alabama. In the winter of 1902, she went to New York City. It was a cold and windy day. The sky was a gray curtain. Snow was a white blanket on the ground. Mary was cold and wet. Because she wanted to warm up and get dry, she rode a streetcar. Back then, some streetcar windshields had two parts. They opened with a push. From her seat, Mary watched snow and ice build up on the windshield. The streetcar driver could not see, so he pushed open the windshield. This helped him to see better. As a result, snow and ice blew in his face. Soon his nose and ears were ice cubes. Other cars kept stopping too. Sometimes the drivers hopped out. They wiped off their windshields. Then they got back in and drove. As a result, traffic moved slowly. All right, so could you give me 3 details from this page that we have just read? Okay, so you could say, well, we learned about Mary Anderson and she grew up in Alabama. We could say, hey, in 1902, she went to New York City. We could also say that that traffic moved very slowly back then because the cars had to stop to clean their windshields. Those are 3 details from this page. The next step. Mary thought about this problem. How could drivers clean their windshields without stopping? Could they do it without opening their windshields? Back home in Alabama, Mary sketched her idea. Then she added notes. She wanted to examine her solution to make sure that it worked. Next, Mary did her own investigation. She looked for facts about what drivers needed. She invented a windshield wiper that a driver could use from inside the car. Then she worked out a design or plan. On paper, Mary's invention looked simple. She hoped drivers would find it easy to use. All right, so what is Mary's invention? What is it that she's wanting to do? Great, so she wants to create a brand new windshield wiper. Absolutely. Something that the cars don't have to open their window in order to use. Mary had a model built. It was made of quality wood, rubber, and metal. Soon the model was ready to test. It was fitted on a windshield. The driver moved a handle inside the car. The handle caused a blade to move back and forth across the glass. It worked. Mary's idea was a gem. She felt encouraged and was sure it would sell. Solving the problem. Mary's windshield wipers solved a problem, but it took many years before people used them. That's because most people did not own cars. By 1913, more people bought and drove cars. Those cars had windshields. Finally, windshield wipers began to sell. Driving became safer and easier because of Mary Anderson's idea. All right, so first question is, Why was it difficult for Mary Anderson to sell her windshield wipers? Awesome. There were not a lot of cars back then. Perfect. Now, let's learn about how is it safer to drive now. Let's look at this diagram right there. Cars from long ago were different from cars we ride in today. Here are some more inventions that helped make driving safer. Well, the first seat belts were used in 1885. 2, cars stopped at the first stop sign in 1915. And 3, cars first used turn signals in 1938. Now, maybe this is very unfamiliar to you because you don't drive yet. You're too young. But next time you are in a car with your mom or your dad, take notice to all of the mechanics and all of the inventions that are inside of the car. All right, so now we're going to look at cause and effect. Now, cause is why something happens. Effect is what happens. All right, so we're going to look at first in the story. All right, so the first thing we could say is that first, drivers had to put onions on their windshields. Why? Because they had no windshield wipers, and this helped with the rain. Very good. Next, traffic moved very slowly in the city. Why? Because people had to stop their car to clean their windshields. Then, Mary rode a streetcar one day. Why? Because it was cold and rainy. Then she had an idea for an invention. Finally, Mary invented the windshield wiper that people can use inside the car. Why? Because she saw the man on the streetcar open his window on a cold, snowy day. All right? So cause is the something that happens because the effect is what happens. Okay? Very good. All right, now let's take a look at our vocabulary for today. So just a reminder, let's go over our vocabulary words. We have design, substitute, simple, quality, investigation, examine, encouraged, and solution. All right, so let's see if we can find the correct word. So number 1, what is another word for a careful search for something? So a careful search. Very good. This is going to be an investigation. So let's use investigation in a sentence. Ooh. The police had an investigation after the murder. Very good. Number 2, how might you describe a product that is well made? Answer, quality. Now, can you think of something that has very good quality? Maybe I could say that, oh, you know, in Japan, they have high quality knives. I don't know if you've ever been to Japan, maybe yes or maybe no, but they make very good knives that you can chop your meat and chop your vegetables with. Number 3, what word might describe an answer to a problem? Solution. Very good. So when else could we find a solution? Well, maybe I had to find the solution to a problem in math class. Number 4, what would you be doing if you were to create a plan? Design. Very good. Now, what is something else that I could design? Maybe I designed a poster for my English class. Maybe you work on some projects at your school and you have to design and illustrate the outline of it. Number 5, when you inspect something closely, what do? You examine. Very good. Maybe, what is something else that you could examine? When I go to dinner, I examine my food to make sure it is cooked correctly. There we go. All right. Have some practice with these vocabulary words this week and see if you can try using them when you are talking to your friends or talking to your mom or your dad. All right, so grammar. A sentence is a group of words that expresses a complete thought. You should know this by now. Very good. Remember that every sentence has 2 parts. It has a complete subject. It also has a complete predicate. Okay? Complete subject tells what or who. The complete predicate tells what do they do. Okay? Now remember that they can always be more than one word. So let's look at number 1. What we're going to do is we're going to look for the predicate. We want to find, what does the subject do? So let's look at number 1. Bears live in many different habitats. So what do bears do? They live in many different habitats. That is my predicate. Number 2, polar bears live in cold places. What is my predicate? Live in cold places. Very good. Number 3, these bears live on thick ice sheets. What is my predicate? Live on thick ice sheets. Number 4, heavy fur keeps the polar bear warm. So what is my predicate? Very good. Keeps the polar bear warm. Number 5, a grizzly bear is large and fierce. What is my predicate? Is large and fierce. Very good. Number 6, the grizzly likes to catch fish to eat. Which one is my predicate? Likes to catch fish to eat. All right. Here we go. So we're doing the same exact thing. All right. So the only thing different is now in this exercise, we are going to find the complete subject. Okay. So just the opposite. So now let's find who or what the sentence is about. Number 1, the pet store is busy on Saturday. Subject? The pet store. Very good. All right, now this exercise is a review from last week, so you should be able to get all of these correct, okay? So this is my test to see if you can remember from last week. Number 2, people smile at the puppies and kittens. Which word is correct? People, very good. Number 2, the goldfish swim in a big tank. Which one is correct? The goldfish, very good. Number 4, furry rabbits hop around. Which one is correct? Furry rabbits, very good. And number 5, a long snake coils in its cage. Which one's correct? All right, a long snake. So you should have gotten all of those correct this week, okay? So that shows that you are learning. Very good job. All right, so let's look at our draft model. Benjamin Franklin was a great inventor. One important invention of his was the lightning rod. He invented bifocal glasses to help people see. Now, what we want to do again is we want to be adding some more time, order, and more sequence words. So what happens first, what happens second, what happens third. Okay? So what was the first invention that Franklin created? All right, awesome, good. So that was the lightning rod. Okay, that was the first one. So what time order words and phrases would help put the events of Franklin's life in order? Well, as I was saying, we could use first, next, then, after that, finally, in the end. Okay, all of these phrases are going to be used and will help us to create a time order sequence in our writing. All right, and now what was the later invention that Franklin created? Okay, so that's going to be the bifocal glasses. So first was the lightning rod, next was the bifocal glasses. Okay, so this one should be quite easy and simple today because we're only ordering the things that he does in time sequence. So it would be something like this. Benjamin Franklin was a great inventor. All right. First, one important invention of his was the lightning rod. After he invented that, he later invented bifocal glasses to help people see. All right, so now let's underline our time order words. So we have first, and then we have after. And I also added something new and I added later. After he invented that, he later invented bifocal glasses to help people see, okay? So we want to get really good with practicing to put all of these sequencing words into our writing, especially in our paragraphs, okay? You guys should be getting really good at that by now. All right, guys, that's the end of our class today. Thanks again for joining me, and I will see you for our next English class. Practice your English. Bye.